Hey everyone, in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to set up your Govee TV Backlight 3. As far as setting up your Govee TV Backlight 3 goes, it is fairly simple just because the quick start they give you is pretty accurate in terms of giving you the directions of what's needed to actually install this backlight. The backlight itself, the first thing I did was actually measure the wiring, and I used painter's tape to kind of place markers where things would be going. So I placed the painter's tape to actually mark where my camera would go. I measured the wire from the camera to about where the control panel would be. So as you can see, that little tiny blue light back there, that's where my control panel is. So I placed the control panel by measuring the wire of how far the wire can reach. And then I also measured the wiring from the control panel, which is directly behind here, all the way to the power outlet, which is down there. Now, with those painter tapes and markings in place, the next thing I did was actually attach my adhesive light strip. So I was still able to mount my adhesive light strip even with an 83-inch mounted. And so this TV actually doesn't come forward. It stays pretty much like this. And so what I was doing was that I was actually mounting this adhesive light strip by measuring the edge of my fingers to the edge of the TV and then pressing down against the light strip. So I did this across all four sides of the TV. I was using no eyes to actually mount the adhesive light strip to the back of the TV. And so I was just feeling for the edge of the TV and then making sure that the actual light strip was about ½ an inch away from the edge. And so once you do that, the back strip itself, it actually has these corners that are free. So these corners don't have any adhesive lightings to them. They're just free wiring corners. And so they do stick out like that. I personally don't mind, but you're more than welcome. Govee gives you like these adhesive stick-ons to actually clip these in like that. But I personally don't mind it. And so now with the adhesive light strip actually attached, I connected it to the camera, and the camera is the next thing I placed. So this camera just sits on top of like that, and Govee recommends that your camera is at a 90-degree angle from the actual TV. So 90-degree angle meaning that angle over there. And so next, with the camera installed or connected to the wiring and the wiring connected to the actual power outlet, that's when I actually turned on the Govee TV backlight. So now with the backlight actually installed and turned on, the next thing to actually do was to install the Govee Home app. Okay, so it looks like this here. Once you have this installed, it's pretty self-explanatory. You do need to create a Govee account, and once you create an account, you're going to look at a page that looks like this when you click on your home page. So over here is where you see all your devices. In order to add a new device, you're going to click on this upper right hand corner, the plus sign. And then as you saw there, it's going to say scanning nearby devices. By scanning nearby devices, your Govee TV backlight should technically appear over here, and then you just click on add. Make sure it's connected to the same Wi-Fi that your phone is using and that your house is using. Once it's connected, it's fairly easy. Again, it's going to be like something called like TV backlight. You're going to be able to access it via app here. And so again, referring back to the quick start guide that Govee gives you, what you're going to do next is the calibration part. And so the calibration part took me about like 5 to 10 minutes to do. It was honestly the longest part of this process. Now the calibration part involves using these orange squares here. So these orange squares, again, refer back to the quick start guide. It's going to appear on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 corners of your screen, or 7 sides of your screen. And so what took me a while was, even though I calibrated it, sometimes my lights weren't working. So if you're having trouble actually lighting up the spots on your backlight that need to be lit up even after calibrating it, what you can do, okay, and I haven't seen anyone talk about this before, is what I did. After the 5th time trying to calibrate my lights, what I actually did was I adjusted the angle of my camera. That was my last resort, and that's how I finally got it to actually calibrate correctly. So it took me a while. And also, my settings for my lights are 26% white balance, 50% saturation, and 100% brightness. So this is what my setup looks like right now. So it's 2 floor lamps and 1 backlight. I'll leave a link to these down below in case you're interested in a setup like this. But that is how I set up my Govee TV backlight. Okay, I hope you found this video helpful. There are some things I couldn't find online which I experienced for myself, but let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions or concerns. I'd be more than happy to help out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.